Hi. All right. So today's screencast that we're going to be doing is about the indispensable opposition. And this is in case you missed class. I want to kind of go over what we're going to be doing just as a reminder for you with how to access everything. And don't worry, eventually I will stop reminding you of this. But when we get started, I just want everybody to make sure you're in the right place. So you get into Schoology, remember AP Lang and Comp Blended. And then when you get there, daily class plans with links is basically your Bible. A couple things that I want to mention tonight by midnight, actually today in the next few minutes, the I Side with topic assignment is due. But if you don't have it done before class, make sure you get it done tonight by midnight. And then daily class plans with links will take you to everything that we're doing in class today. So if we look down here, yesterday, we did our I Side with poll, and I wanted you to make sure you chose a topic of interest to you that you felt strongly about. Today, we're going to start in groups discussing the topic choices and sharing what we found out about where we stand and what we believe in politically, and also talking to everybody else about the topic, the article that you found that was on, remember, the opposing side of what you believe. So we're going to talk about that for, 10 minutes or so in groups, and then have a little group discussion about what some of the topics are that people were really interested in, and kind of breaking it down. Why is that an important topic today? That's going to lead us into some important discussions later in the week. All right. The next thing that we're going to be doing is we're going to talk about this reading, The Indispensable Opposition. I have a handout that I'm giving to class that is a shorter version of this reading. But because you're not in class, you're going to get the longer version of the reading. It's not too long, don't worry, and the type is actually pretty large. So I want you to read this over. We're going to read it in class, and then we're going to discuss what exactly is Walter Lippmann. What was he saying in 1939 when he wrote this article in the Atlantic Monthly, this opinion piece on the indispensable opposition. And we're going to use that to add to our information about bias. And in order to do that, when we go into here, this is the same slideshow I showed you yesterday, recognizing bias. The last slide is what we're going to be talking about. So we're going to discuss who Walter Lippmann was, and you can see by this information that he was a child of Jewish parents of German origin, that he was a political journalist of his time, that he was highly influential to Woodrow Wilson during World War I for the settlement plan and for developing the League of Nations. That if you look at this, he went from socialist to anti-Marxist to opposed to socialism. And then he proposed something called the natural law theory, which we'll talk about briefly in class. I want you to look it up on Google so you know what natural law theory is. So take a minute and do that. That's what I'm going to have everybody do in class. And then we're going to discuss that. And then later on in the middle of the 19th century, he believed that people, ordinary citizens, couldn't have the ability to judge public issues like hot topics, controversies, and things like that. Because in the 1950s, the advent of the television, he believed that the media speed, the news cycle that we talk about today, happened so quickly that people couldn't actually get a grasp of what was going on, that it was slogans rather than actual analysis of what was happening. So that means that if he looked at today's news cycle, which is literally a 24-hour news cycle, news happens all the time, we get news feeds all the time about it, he would probably believe that there's very less analysis going on in the world today. So we're going to use that information to help us understand why he wrote what he did in the indispensable opposition, and what, if any, bias does he have. So that is today's lesson. When we're done with that, I'm going to walk you through all the assignments that you have ongoing right now. So far you should have completed 2 assignments. You should have completed the comparison of the allegory of the cave and the oatmeal infographic, and the I side with little chart where you filled in information about your topic. And then you're also working on the rhetorical terms vocabulary, which is due on Sunday at midnight, but also due Sunday at midnight. If you take a look at this, is reading something and taking an open book test on Schoology. So you'll see, I think by the time class starts, this test will have opened up. So I'm going to have kids open up the test. It is not timed and it's resumable. So you can start it today and you can finish it on Sunday, but Sunday at midnight is when it's due, and that's when it'll collect from you. So if you click on this, it's a PDF that'll take you to your reading. The questions on the test are asked in order of the information that you learn within the reading. It's kind of a longer reading. So again, just like the rhetorical terms sheet, you want to sort of take your time with it and do a few questions or a page or something like that at a time, rather than putting it all off until Sunday. Okay, I hope that helps you out. And if you are absent, I hope I see you in class tomorrow.